Hi, we're Faces of the Future. I'm Victoria,
And I'm Clifton.
and in today's video, we're going to talk about one of our key principles of being a quantumpreneur. So, a quantumpreneur is a coach, a conscious entrepreneur, investor, or self employed change maker who's here to upgrade and up level so that they can steward the evolution of consciousness in an even greater capacity. And today's principle we're going to be focusing on today is your four tires. So,
Principle number 4 is that quantumpreneurs understand that they need to activate, tune, and expand their 4 tires to access higher dimensions of themselves to realize their fullest potential and ensure a smooth ride on our journey ahead. So, what exactly are the 4 tires?
yeah, so if you think of your body as a vehicle, you've got your front and back tires, and you have a tire for your physical body, for your mental body, your emotional and spiritual body. And it's key to have them all activated so you can maximize that manifestation potential we were talking about. And sometimes there's certain issues that come up on the journey or wake-up calls that may indicate that it's time to rotate your 2 tires of focus, or however many tires you're focused on in the moment. So what
This
are
is an important concept, very similar to like what got you here in this present moment won't get you there. And so a lot of personal development focuses on how to continuously up level. And this is a beautiful framework we have to break down kind of what areas might be needing to be focused on and improved, as well as maintained on a daily basis.
So what are the 4 tires? The physical tire is everything from your physical body to your environment and surroundings, what you put into your body. And the mental tire is when you're activating your mind, you're learning, you're getting certifications, courses, education, you're doing daily habits and mental frameworks, you're using logic and analyzing and using reasoning.
It's also a way of operating, so operating from a place of the mind as well. And so the next 2 tires are the emotional tire and spiritual tire. So the emotional tire is really all about, first of all, understanding what emotions are, and then feeling your feelings, processing your feelings, expressing your feelings, and then connecting with others through feelings and understanding what they're going through. And that's really the emotional tire, and developing what a lot of people call the emotional intelligence, EQ. And then the final tire is the spiritual tire. So what's the spiritual tire?
The spiritual tire is realizing that there's more to you than the physical you, the ego, that there's a higher you. There's more to life than just your physical body. And it's about like tapping in and following your guidance, activating intuition, understanding that you can make decisions outside of the realm of logic. And you can embrace serendipity, allowing and surrendering as a way of being as well.
Beautiful. Yeah, those are some very key themes that we work with clients on, the allowing and the surrendering of the spiritual tire.
It was definitely a challenge for me.
Yeah, and each person has a unique journey towards personal growth and development. And often, myself included, I focused on my physical and mental tires first. And that's where we're optimizing our bodies. We're looking at biohacking, environments. Then we're looking at time management and our energy levels, learning, really activating that mind. And then what happens is life presents itself, and often the emotional and spiritual tires then become what's important to focus on and come quote unquote online and activated. And this usually happens or has happened a lot in the past with spiritual awakenings or major wake-up calls.
Yeah, like breakups, like accidents, like illness, and interpersonal issues.
Death, hardship, your startup failing or being fired, things of that nature. And why is it so important for us to have all these 4 tires of your beingness activated and tuned?
Well, manifestation requires all 4 of them for things to fully land and for you to steer and steward your vehicle appropriately. So you need the mental tire because you need that mental, that focus, that acuity, that clear intention and ability to visualize, to concentrate, and to have discipline to really focus in on that vision. And then you need your emotional tire, because you need an elevated emotion to access manifestation. So being able to conjure up that high vibrational emotion of joy, of gratitude, of peace or serenity when you're calling forth your manifestation is key. And if you're not sure how your emotional tire operates, then it's a good idea to begin developing a practice for getting that gratitude online. For the spiritual tire, you need your guidance and your intuition, and you need to listen and surrender to the messages that come through, because their messages are always around us. We're always receiving. It's just a matter of if we're listening.
And a lot of times the relationship with your spiritual tire is an exploration into the unknown and those things that you can't control.
Yeah, and your physical tire is necessary because that's the execution. You have to do the right steps in the right order at the right time when you hear that signal, when you feel that emotional excitement, when you have that mental clarity to go set it into motion.
Yes, so your body is actually being pulled in the right direction and inspired to do those actions.
Mm-hmm.
So they all come together in what we call your 5D beingness, which you can utilize what we call your heart pulse as the GPS, and that's the ability to tune in to the present moment and the feelings to guide you, to help you understand what decisions to make and what actions to take. And as you continue to move your body and in consecutive periods of present moments to act on that, you'll then be guided and pulled towards that future you intend.
Yeah, and in our process, we have what's called a heart pulse tracker, which is your moment-to-moment navigation tool. So once that internal navigation is activated by you and the clarity comes through about what steps to take, and you have that practice, that toolkit of getting into that high vibrational state, this propels you forward and keeps you accountable. And this is the game guide that we create with our clients.
Absolutely, because a lot of this can be very conceptual or abstract, and we really make it tangible and clear. And each quantumpreneur has their own unique relationship and journey and wisdom based on interacting with these four tires, based on their own beliefs and their unique journey. And as a result, quantumpreneurs recognize the importance to continue to develop and increase their capacity to learn and grow in each one of these four tires.
Yeah, and as Clifton mentioned earlier, what got you to where you are may not necessarily get you very much further if those other two haven't come online. Think about driving down a road and you have two tires that are really inflated, but you have two tires that are underinflated. And it's going to lead to a really bumpy ride and a lot of overcompensation with what you may call your strengths. But it's all about finding the balance, and you're only as strong as the weakest tire that you put forth.
And each person's journey is unique, so you might have a different level of strength in each one of your tires, but quantumpreneurs know that they have to consciously invest their time, money, and energy into each one of these tires to keep them going towards their intended journey. And oftentimes the tires that you've leaned on in the past, such as the physical and the mental, may actually need to be taken a breather and focused on the other two. And that's where we get into sort of the importance of having a routine to keep your tires aligned and inflated.
Right, yeah, having a morning routine that encompasses all four tires to activate them, and an evening routine that encompasses all four tires to rejuvenate them is really key for that, because you have all kinds of exhaustion at the end of the day, physical, mental, emotional, spiritual exhaustion too. So a lot of people may focus just on the morning aspect, but the evening is just as important to get that peaceful sleep.
And also it may fluctuate which ones you need to work on more, and that's how you can adjust those morning and evening routines. For example, for me, I had to really take a step back from a lot of the mental. I love reading books, and I had to step into more on the emotional tire. So my morning routine was far less focused on my mental tire and far more time and energy on working on emotions.
Yeah, and when I had my spiritual awakening, I had to put the physical tire a bit on the back seat and the emotional, and I dove really deep into spirituality for a period of time. And then I had to rotate it back and focus more on the emotions.
And it's important to keep all four aligned and balanced. And in your morning routine, you may have a considerable amount of time, maybe an hour to 2 hours to work on your morning routine, or just 30 minutes. And we can share our morning routines and what's worked for us in the past in a future video. But something to keep in mind is that you can find specific things that actually activate one or more of these tires, such as yoga could actually activate all four, or doing a heart coherence meditation could activate many of the tires at once. And so if you're really focused on optimizing your time, you can really find these practices that combine all these tires into one practice.
Yeah, also, if there's a tire that's newer for you and you're just beginning to explore it, it may take more time to activate that. And that's totally normal and absolutely how it goes, because when I wasn't focused on spirituality and then suddenly I became interested in that, I had to spend a lot of time in meditation, getting centered, getting my mind quiet. And now, like, it may take me 5 minutes to recenter myself in that way. So you're building that muscle, you're building the spiritual, the mental, the emotional, and the physical muscles to do it.
That's beautiful. And people always ask, hey, what's your morning routine? What's your evening routine? And really the best advice is what gives you the highest excitement and is really intended towards your personal goal. So for me in particular, where I'm at, I create a morning drink to jumpstart my digestion with apple cider vinegar, water, salts. I do a meditation. That's something called the Dr. Joe Dispenza Botech meditation. I go for a walk to move my body. I review my schedule for the day ahead. I have what's called my future self, Clifton 3.0, that I review. That's very more mental. And then I actually pull from a men's deck spirit card. So
that women can pull from through.
Yes,
too.
basically embodying the divine masculine. So that's my morning routine, and this evolves based on what it is that I'm going through, because there has been times where I heavily focus specifically on the physical right away, but now it's really more of a balance is where I'm at.
Yeah, and the best way to understand, well, each client and each person is unique. Like Clifton's morning routine is different from my morning routine depending on what I'm working on. I'm working a lot on journaling and writing in the morning because I'm activating my mental tire. I want like my clarity and my downloads to really come through after I connect with spirit. And before that, I was working a lot on yoga and the physical, but now I don't need that much to get physically tuned in. And the best way to see where you're at is to do an assessment. So we do a thorough assessment with every client that comes in, and we help them develop best practices and routines that really excite them and really get them activated and going and easily recalibrated throughout the day.
And that's key, right? Having a morning routine is a great way to start, but it's also important to have quick fixes to tune different things during the day as they come up. So even like a 5-minute reset, or as you said, as short as a 10-second or 30-second reset to tune your vehicle back into alignment.
Yeah, so let us know what you guys think about this topic. We did a full podcast with Dr. Brian Malandine, who is the creator of the metaphor of the four tires, and we'll drop a link to that so you can see the full podcast there. And leave a comment below and let us know which one of these tires you're focusing on, or which ones you're interested in seeing more content on cultivating.
And if there's a particular tire you're curious how we can optimize for you, reach out to us and let's start a conversation.
Thank you for watching.